What do you guys think is the motivation for your friends and the people in the black community to want to be involved in things that are not good? Like, I don't know what those things are, but you mentioned they're doing things that are not good.
It's the culture, man.
Just like the culture, you know.
People want fast money.
People want fast money. They want to be. They want to be hard. They want to be cool. They want street cred.
Yeah.
I think it's
we
can
really
talk
a lot
2
of
hours
factors.
on it.
That's a lot of factors.
The main
that go
reason
into
is just like you are who you surround yourself with.
Facts.
So that's what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
So that's what they do.
You guys don't sound like you come from a background where you're involved in, you know, I guess what ghetto culture or like, you know.
Yeah, we're around it for sure.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
around
you're
it,
around
yeah.
it. Especially
Family
as, like,
members
but-
and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially as a black people, you're gonna be exposed to it at some point. Like, I mean, I grew up in the hood, East Side OKC, and like my house had bullet holes in the back window and stuff. But
Damn.
I mean, I only lived there till I was 9. Then we moved to like suburbs. It was super nice. But I mean, my parents, like, when I went out and played, they was like, you can't go across the street, you can't do this and that. So I mean, that was just normal to me. I didn't really realize it was different until we left and I saw the difference.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really like it's really just on you.
Yeah.
I could say just me going to college made me like step away from that environment because my friends, like some of them right now is doing some bad stuff right now I don't approve of. So I'd say going to college kind of pushed me away from it and see a different environment and see like a different outlook of life. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, man, before like we even started the YouTube, I was hanging around some guys that, I mean, I really shouldn't have been hanging around with. I mean, just doing stuff they shouldn't have been doing. And I was telling them, man, you know, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel, bro. And they're laughing at me like, bro, really? You're gonna start a YouTube channel? And I'm like, bro, I think it could really work. And going back to school, being with Tahj, I mean, man, me and him, because he's like had the camera to start the YouTube. I forgot, what was your degree?
oh yeah, I had video production.
Yeah, so that he's the whole reason like this even started, because I mean I didn't know about a camera at all. You know, I didn't know what I was gonna do at all. I mean, it just kind of popped on my head. I was like, bro, maybe we could start a YouTube channel. And that's how it happened, really.
Like, what do you guys think is the motivation for your friends and the people in the black community to want to be involved in things that are not good? Like, I don't know what those things are, but you mentioned they're doing things that are not good.
It's the culture, man.
Just like the culture, you know.
People want fast money.
People want fast money. They want to
I
be. They
think-
want to be hard. They want to be cool. They want street cred.
Yeah.
I think
It's
it's
we can
really a
talk
lot
2
of
hours
factors.
on it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a lot of
lot.
factors.
The main
that go
reason
into
is just like you are who you surround yourself with.
Facts.
So that's what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
So that's what they do.
No, facts. Like when I moved to a suburban area, my high school, we're on like the edge of like the suburb called Edmond and OKC. So we get a lot of kids from OKC. So a lot of them, they would try to put like the hood, and they would hang around each other. And you know, they would try to like do dumb stuff. Like I knew a lot of guys that was super talented athletes that threw it all away because they wanted to be in the streets.
Yeah.
They want to be tough. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I went to different schools, man, so I seen like a lot of different environments. Like I went to probably the whitest school ever called the Woodlands in the Woodlands, Texas, and just seeing that environment coming from, you know, black schools, I was like, this is totally different, man. I was having difficult like times in school, and I was like, man, this stuff is actually pretty hard, you know? And then, I mean, I remember just crying to my mom, like, man, this stuff's too hard. She's putting me in hard classes. She was like, this is gonna be good for you, and I didn't realize it was gonna be good for me until I went to after that I went to back to the hood school, and then they were like, yeah, man, you come to class, man, you get an A. And I was like, what the heck? Like, this is pretty crazy, you know. Kids walking up to me like, hey bro, you want to fight, bro? I'm like, what the heck, bro? Like, no, you know. And then I went to a school after that was kind of like, you know, white and black people, and it was pretty cool for me. I was like, yeah, I can vibe here, you know. And even there, you know, I get into it with some kids that, you know, well, being friends with some kids that, you know, were a part of the subculture, basically. And they're like, yeah, bro, like, pull your pants down, bro. Why are you wearing your pants like that? Pull them down a little bit, you know? And I'm like, damn, man, like, why do I have to do that, you know? So then I fell into that, you know, trying to be cool and stuff like that. And then my dad's always like, bro, you know, because he comes from that. He's like, that never gets you anywhere.
Yeah.
So then I realized, I'm like, hey, you know, then I'm going to college. I'm like, I have to do something outside of that. So then I realized YouTube might be that. And
Yeah.
pretty much here we are, you know?
Worked out.
Yeah, it did.
I think our blessing was we all come from good families.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think that's
that
really
too.
what it is. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people in the black culture don't have like a good family unit, or they don't have good examples in their family of what to strive to be like. So I think that may be a big like factor of to why they do a lot of negative stuff, because they don't have no good examples. And the example that's put forth in the black culture that's cool is the street stuff, or like being like hood and being ghetto and all that stuff. So it's either you have a good example in your family, or you just go to what's out there.
On social media.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's the two roads you got.
And that's why I think it's pretty crazy that people got upset with Byron Donald about what he said about what was it exactly he said?
He was saying about how the marriage rate was higher.
What was it
during
called again? Jim
Crow.
Crow. So like during that time, I felt like it was more like activists and like people really you can look up to something like that. And now it's just like it's nothing to really look up to, you know?
Yeah,
So that's why I think it's different. Yeah.
Rappers glorifying that other side, and back in like those days in the 50s, you had the strong family units, and they was really struggling and fighting for their position.
They was fighting real racism.
Yeah, there was real racism, real struggle. What we had to fight for, the position we're in now, and you had moms and dads setting that example for their children, that good foundation, and now the single mother rate in black people, the black community in general, is the highest, you know? So that alone is the foundation is missing. So when you have a rocky foundation and then no good examples of what to strive to be like, you gonna either get pulled in one direction or you might get lucky and go in another. And more often than not, they get pulled in the negative direction.
I feel like a lot of people don't have no goals or like try to strive for something. That's also like a problem.
Just don't know what's possible.
You know what's crazy? They actually demonized Byron for that, man. That was
crazy.
Insane. Like,
I really think they took his comments out of context. Like they tried to
spin it.
They didn't focus.
Own, you know.
yeah, they
own
went
narrative.
No, they tried to spin it.
I think it's wild that like Larry Elder, you guys, I'm sure you've seen
Yeah, we like Larry.
Yeah.
that guy's a genius.
Yeah.
And they call him the black face of white supremacy. It's crazy because, it's racist because a black man would say something that is favored by people in this country who happen to be Republican. Byron Donalds, Thomas Sowell, Larry Elder, they call them white supremacists or, race traitors or whatever. And I'm like, isn't it kind of racist to imply that a guy who, like,
it is.
They're acting like the only reason people are supporting them. What is it? Let me put it this way. I watched Fox News the other day. They had what's the guy's Lawrence Jones? I'm not sure if I'm getting his name wrong. He's great though. But he went to a bunch of barbershops in the Bronx, and he was asking black men who they're voting for, why they're voting. And one guy said Kamala Harris, and he said these young black men have the slave mentality where they want to vote for Massa, and that's the people who are voting for Trump. And I'm just like, isn't it kind of? I mean, isn't it some kind of racism that if you're going to assume if somebody has an idea they like, it can only be because they're trapped in racism? I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's
you're right.
Like their race is the reason why they feel this way, when it's just the way I see it is if you're stupid, you're stupid. If you're smart, you're smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think like, okay, so all these years, when black people really going through things like, getting out of slavery and this and that, and we fought for freedom to make your own decisions. So now that we're finally, we're here, not finally, we've been free, but now that we're here, 2024, 2025, and it's like, y'all are still like in this mindset that it's like we all have to think the same way even though we're free.
Yeah.
And it's like, I saw a quote, it was like from my pastor, it was like, if you tell someone that a door is locked, they'll never try to open it even though it's open. So they're just telling people like, you're oppressed, you're racist, this and that. And people sitting there eating it up. And then it's like, wait. And I remember I sat there and I thought, I was like, well, how many racist things have happened to me? And it was like, compared to what they was doing, like nothing. Like my life has been completely fine.
No, facts.
I remember my coach at Louisiana, because Louisiana is, a southern state, the heart of the South.
We were South Louisiana.
Yeah.
Too.
He was talking about how like when he was in college, we had a white coach who went to a HBCU. And so he understood like black people a lot. He was like, the teachers there would get on the students so bad when they would like come to class and be, ungrateful for the situation they had. And they're like, we fought for y'all to get here to do this. And I was thinking like, yeah, probably back then in the 40s, 50s, like people were fighting just to go to school. And now it's like everyone can go to school. You can do all these things. We have all these opportunities, but we're still sitting here crying about racism and all these things. And I think it's just from the perspective that we have.
You know what's crazy about Coach though? I remember one day he told us it was like, I think a black graduation or something that was going on. And he was all like, no, imagine if white people had that, man. And I remember, me too. I was like, hold on. That's a good point.
Like the Black Student Union. He was like, same thing about the Black Student. He said, man, there's a white student union.
Yeah, and I was like, I was like, oh my and God. that's around the time we started getting on YouTube. And I was like, man, that's pretty crazy. Like,
Yeah, no, I never thought about that.
yeah, that's insane, man.
This, for me, all like the woke stuff, one of the biggest problems I have with it is that I get it, especially coming from Chicago. That's where, do you guys know what redlining is?
Yeah, that's where they like.
That's where it comes from.
Stuff.
Yeah,
wow.
Yes, because the Red Line train,
Okay.
the real estate agents basically conspired to be like, make sure the black people can only live in this area so they're not near the white people because it'll negatively impact property values. That was in the 80s when they finally put an end to it. So I can imagine if you're like 60, you're saying like you don't understand how bad it was and the racism.
Yeah,
No,
understand.
that makes sense. I do like that you highlighted that, because when you look at Black history and like the things Black people have to go through to get to the position we are today, it's like, why would you not go to college? Because Black people fought for your right to go to college. Why would you not try to buy a home? Because people couldn't buy homes. Like, it's like, why would you not fight to be successful? You know, like the stuff and opportunity we have now in America, people fought and died for that. Like my great great grandma, she was like 90 something. She was born in 1919. I remember she was telling me about like how she went to school. It was segregated. She had to fight to go to college. And like how my whole family, like on my dad's side, my whole family all went to this HBCU in Oklahoma because it's the only place they could go to school. Like, and my dad was one of the first ones to not go there. He went to OU. And like my mom, like she was adopted, like, and like all her stuff, she put herself through college and law school. So like they like really told me Black history and like told me like, why would you throw all the stuff that the people before you fought for away and not be successful? Like, and that's what people in the streets are doing. Like, you're saying, oh, all they went through that stuff, so America's doomed, so why try? And I'm gonna just go throw myself away and make nothing of myself. Like, that's almost a slap in the face to those who came before you and died for you. And that's why I say, like, a lot of people don't have an example of what to strive for or know what could be if you go fight and try to go make something of yourself. So I think that's one of the biggest disconnects we have.
You know, it's crazy. The same people that will throw their life away will tell me I'm wrong for being
Facts.
MAGA.
Yeah,
No, that's
yeah,
facts.
that's crazy.
They're
So
the
it's
ones,
like,
they're the ones
What do you
that-
want?
No,
That's why I
those,
say I don't care about pleasing people. I'm not- I do not care about pleasing y'all
I
at
agree.
all.
No, and that's a great example because the ones who don't try or are too afraid to try or blame racism on the reason they won't try are the ones that are the most brainwashed and easily controlled by the media narratives and everything that's thrown out there. So like they're the ones that tell us like, oh, you guys are dumb, you guys are sellouts, you're this, you're that. And I'm like, look, bro, like if y'all really watch the videos and listen to what we say and how we got to this point, you realize this is not a lie. This is not something we just putting on for show. This is real stuff we doing, like real talk. We're really putting in the work and trying to learn this stuff and do the legwork. And I think just us being young and being like ourselves, like we haven't changed, like we're still ourselves, the same way we are on camera, off camera. I think that resonates with people who really do watch the videos and take in what we do because they can see like we're being for real. Because a lot of people have told me like, you really opened my mind up to this.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Culture War podcast. We're live every Friday, 10 a.m. to noon, so subscribe and come hang out.